What's going on, people? Welcome to 137 Works, and today we're having a look at the 1937 Mercedes W125. As you can see here, it's one of the original kind of silver arrows that gave Mercedes their nickname that they have in Formula 1 at the moment, that they have always had basically. It's absolutely a gorgeous car in my opinion. It's one of the cleanest, nicest examples of those early kind of like 30s race cars, 30s, 40s, like kind of after they stopped being like just big, massive jet engines basically with a little bit of wood attached to them, and they started to get a bit more kind of refined before they started becoming like all the kind of winged aspects that they started bringing in the kind of 50s and 60s. They just had this, some of them just had this beautiful shape. There's this one, there's the Auto Union Type C, which also has a fantastic, if insanely hard to drive mod that I believe Jimmer did a video on, which is why I'm not doing one on that. I actually originally was going to drive one of those for a video, but I seen that Jimmy had done that, so I will be doing the Mercedes, and I hope he hasn't done this. But anyway, yeah, it's gorgeous. We're going to do the usual kind of thing. If you haven't seen this series so far, what we do is we jump into the Nordschleife, do one single lap, not going for a timed lap, not doing anything crazy with it, not going balls to the wall for the most part, just seeing how it drives, seeing how it handles, seeing its characteristics, seeing its characteristics rather, and that's all done after a little look around it in VR to kind of see if it passes the VR test, which is a big part of it, because a lot of cars, they might look great, they might drive great, they might sound great, but they also might have some of them aspects that are not great, especially for the immersion of VR. So we'll see how it gets on. So far in the showroom, as you can see here, it looks absolutely beautiful, so high hopes. Let's get into it.
I'm grateful, oh yeah, able, oh yeah, I'm stable, oh yeah, no label, oh yeah, you know me.
Okay, so here we are in game, a little bit of housekeeping if you don't know what we do here exactly. So we're in the car now, I'm going to do a sound test, have a look around the cockpit and give my general impressions. Right off the bat, looks pretty good, all the textures seem to be nice. You kind of see that like diamond pattern aluminum in the background there, pretty cool, all the rivets, nice detail on the gear shifter. Have a look around at the back wheel, at the back wheel, at the front wheels. Yeah, they've got all the kind of linkages and cables, brake cables and all that kind of stuff that you would expect if you're looking at a high quality mod. So yeah, definitely gets the thumbs up for the quality anyway. Looks brilliant. So if you're wondering why I've got the little gear icon down here, it is because that I don't have the gear knob port on my actual wheel itself is broken for some reason. It just stopped working one day. So I have to use the paddle shifters, which is going to slightly diminish the kind of realisticness of it. But I like to keep it on the side where the actual gear is to kind of make it somewhat more immersive. So let's give it the sound test. Whoa. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot down between 10 and 3 or 1000 and 3000 RPM. Then it starts to build up, and then it gets very loud. Like, the thing that blows my mind about these is you're essentially sitting strapped to a jet engine with Pringles can tops for wheels, and like what's that saying, like milk tops for brakes. Like, there's just nothing to them. So sounds fantastic, honestly. Now, I have not done my homework, unfortunately, so I cannot remember what type of engine is in this. It's probably because, again, they are literally, in some cases, like literal airplane engines, like W16s and stuff, so it's probably something meant like this. I will, at some point, go back and throw in the kind of horsepower figures and that kind of thing. But for now, it's probably better that I don't know that, to be honest. But for now, we are going to take it out onto the track. Boy of the future here, checking in, because I said I would pop in with some stats at this point. So there's some conflicting reports between what I've got over here on the second screen on Wikipedia and what content managers tell me. So at least with the mod we should talk about first of all, it's got 640 brake horsepower, it has 857 newton meters of torque, which is about 650 odd foot-pounds if you're like me and just I grew up with Forza, for example, and you got used to foot-pounds of torque. And it only weighs 750 kilos, so that's, or kilograms. That is insane. That is absolute lunacy. Like, this is a car that you could put together with the contents of your bin. Like, this is insane. Like, tin of beans, some milk carton lids, and some leftover Pringles caps, and you could put this car together. Like, oh, and also don't forget the aeroplane engine at the front, which, by the way, yeah, so I wanted some stats on that as well. So it's a straight 8. Like, it is an inline 8-cylinder 5.6 litre, I believe it is, and it, in the real world anyway, makes about 595 horsepower in race kind of trim, as they call it. And that's like, it's a bit less, about 45 less than we're showing up in game as. I'm not sure why there's a discrepancy there, but that's still insane. That's still absolutely mind blowing. Like, again, 1937, a car made out of bean cans essentially. Like is doing that kind of horsepower. Like it's just lunacy, and I don't think it's got the torque figures. I can't see the torque figures at a glance, but also like it does point out that it's putting out 245 horsepower at 2000 rpm. Like 2000 rpm is idle for a lot of cars nowadays. Like it's basically idle. Like that's like just their numbers I can't wrap my head around, and especially for the time. That's their numbers that are confusing and brain messy, like mind fucky today. Like, so yeah, that's just some stats on the car. So that's it. I'll shut up here and we continue the video. The one thing that strikes me about the Auto Union that I have driven is that the speed just creeps up on you. You're only in second gear, but you look down at the speedo and you're doing like 120, 130 kilometers. Or miles even rather, which is even more scary. Oh, we have a slide going already at 30. Like it was like 38 kilometers an hour in second gear. Jesus. Okay, gentler on the accelerator. Whoa. My goodness. Don't crash it. Tried my best. Well, that is absolutely horrific. And it just won't stop either. This is just nonsense. Like, the sheer power to rate. Haven't even started the lap technically yet. Man. Wow. This is crazy. People drove these like in just light t-shirts. And like what I can only assume was a pretty terrible rudimentary like helmet. And goggles. And that was it. That was all the safety equipment that they had. Maybe I should wait till the tires are a bit warmer before I try anything as dangerous as actually accelerating all the way. I don't know what I was thinking being so silly. And then you're drifting wide and it's just gone. I wasn't even on the accelerator. This is nuts. How do you drive these cars? I'm straight up just coasting and it still wants to tear the head off me. This is crazy. I cannot believe. Like, I am guilty of this as well. I always say like, oh, like say footballers from past generations wouldn't be able to play today, or even drivers from the past generations wouldn't be as good in the cars today. But I don't think that's the case with something like this. I don't think there's many people that could drive these cars on the limit the way that those guys used to. We have broken 100 miles an hour. That is absolutely terrifying. Into third gear. Just in a constant slide, constantly battling with the car. I'm not even... Jesus, there we go again. I wasn't even fully accelerating. That was only about 70-75% acceleration. And it still bit the head off me. Whoa. It's very warm in Ireland at the moment, so getting a fair bit of steam. So any random cuts. It's probably just me sniffling to get the steam out of the headset. I cannot get over how insane these things are. Jesus. Like, I'm at the same time, I'm trying not to be a little chicken. I actually want to... I want to push it. But I don't think it'd also be very entertaining because, let's be honest, as I always say, I am a fairly middle-of-the-road kind of driver, skill-wise. I don't think a video of just me constantly spinning and crashing into walls is going to be as entertaining as it might sound. It might sound fantastic, but I would like to be able to actually show some kind of ability, but Jesus, I picked the wrong car to try and do that with. Full acceleration. Third gear, full acceleration. Spinning the tires at over 100 miles an hour. These things are not to be believed. Woo, and we're gone. We're gone again. Like, look at that. It's like they're like bicycle tires. It's like some guy took a load of acid or pills or something and smoked a load of something in the 1930s and just went, I've got it. Do you know those things, those big flying yokes, right? The big flying things. We take the engine out of one of them, enough power to actually create flight. We get the bicycle tires from Jimmy's bike out the back. We get the brakes from, well, I don't know, I guess it's just like it feels like there's just a pair of pliers. There's just a very small man on each corner. Not even on each corner, on the front two corners. With a small set of pliers held up against the brake pad. That's it. And sometimes he doesn't feel like it. Sometimes he's a bit distracted. That's what these brakes feel like. And he just goes, and then we'll all stick it in just like a long silver tube. And it'll be controlled with the steering wheel from the Nina, the Pinta, or the Santa Marina, whichever one we can find first. Oh my god. I'm having to drive like a Sunday drive, or like an F1 kind of driver's parade thing where we just cruise it around, because otherwise you are not getting to put power down. This is mental. This is all the stock tune as well, I forgot to say, if you don't know, if you're not familiar. I'm scared. Like, this should in modern cars be pretty flat out for the most part. Those three series of corners there. Maybe ease off slightly depending on the car for that one, but oh my god, I touched the brake. Accelerator. No. Like, I know I was very like praising the BF4 Cayman in the last video, I think it was, or the second last video technically, for how insane it was, but like that was a kind of controlled chaos. This is just sheer, like, the power of God and anime is in my right foot if I decide to do it, like if I decide to let it loose. Oh my god. Look at that. Like, you just genuinely have to try this car. Like, it's, or these types of cars, like the Auto Union is the exact same. It's just lunacy. You just can't do it. Like this one though, the Auto Union, I'm pretty sure I could put the foot down for the most part on straight or whatever. That this one, as soon as we take it into the carousel, are we drifting through the carousel in the 1937 serial of arrows? Yes, we are. Oh my god. Like, yeah, this one, I can't even in a straight line get my foot all the way to the floor for more than a couple of seconds. It's mental. I just thought of like the perfect gif, or perfect meme even. A picture of Ozzy Osbourne holding a bat with his, about to bite the head off, and just have the text be like, over the Osbourne, or over Ozzy, have it say the Merc 125, and over the bat, literally anybody that's not a driver from the 1930s. This is just such a leisurely drive at this point. I just cannot put the foot down. It's lunacy. Drifting it wide, understeer, straight into oversteer. And now we come to the famous YouTube section where I am sure to make a mistake before it even... Jesus. Okay, that's not on the cameras. The cameras are around the corner. They can't see yet. So for all I know, I'm doing fine. Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? Don't mind me. See if I can initiate somewhat of a controlled slide. Nope. So continues the tradition of messing up. I think every car so far that I've tried, except for the very first one, the Ferrari Pista, the 488 Pista, I've messed up on the YouTube corner. Now obviously that one I tried to do a little slide for the show, but good lord. I'm actually genuinely curious down the straight if I can open it up, if it will stay in straight line long enough to see what kind of top speed we can be heading towards, because we are certainly not... Like, there's no downforce, this is the thing. It's got all this power, these tiny little Pringles can wheels, Pringles can lid wheels I should say, the milk top brakes, and no downforce, not a single shred of a wing, and just like such a smooth metal tube. There's just nothing, no reason, nothing to entice it to keep it on the to keep it on the straight and narrow. Your respect for the actual mad lads who drove these things back in the day. Nice little slide catch there. Goes up a million times once you've tried out something like this. Like, my arms are physically getting sore, not because the feedback is particularly heavy, but just the sheer amount of inputs you have to put into the car to kind of get anything out of it. Second and final carousel. Ooh. I would love to see like a a telemetry sheet for how long that I spent on the accelerator for this lap. Because again, this is first drive. Again, I don't know if you might be new to this series or what I do here, but this is a first drive. I haven't actually driven this mod since I got it, and I got it a long time ago. But I've never actually put any time in it, so let's go. Foot is planted. This is probably going to make up like 20% of the entire time. I'm into fourth gear for the first time. 165, we're still going. 170. 180. And I'm just going to have to brake because I think I saw 182 at one point. Blink and you will miss it. That's a joke for anyone that might cop that day. But my god, I'm actually physically terrified of this car. I will leave a link to it in the description. It's on that weird Assetto Corsa forum that you have to sign up for. It's not the official one, and it's not Race Department. It's like another third-party Assetto Corsa that has a couple of exclusive mods that you need to sign up for. That's the only place, as far as I know, that I can find it. But good lord, right? I am considerably humbled. If I had any preconceived notions about being any kind of talented, this thing just proved me wrong. It's absolutely mental. Definitely recommend trying it out though. If you're more talented than me, I'm sure there's somebody on YouTube that's probably done videos of it, absolutely just taming the beast. But I am not that guy, like apparently at all. But that's about it. If you enjoyed it, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. Shared endlessly. Car cannot be driven.